unless you humble yourself and realize that you actually are on the wrong path and you've got so much work to do and that you must change, life is going to smash you in the face, bro. It's going to slap you in the face with adversity to tell you like you are not on the path of purpose and changes have to be made. And because you're not initiating that action yourself, I'm going to press you into a point where there is no other option but to go forwards and to go through this endeavor. Hopefully you guys can learn from the scars that I have so you don't have to have your own. And I gotta tell you, man, you have to value yourself enough to believe that changes have to be made. You have to realize that time is finite. I cannot stress that enough, guys. The consequences of you not taking action on your dreams, on your goals, on building and investing in yourself and in your relationships with other people as a result of the investment and the relationship you make with yourself, mate, you're gonna lose everything you care about. Everything. And it might not happen now when you're 20 or 30, when you're a young fella. Look at me, I'm only 27, right? But I learned these lessons at age 21 rather than age 40. And I'm telling you them now so you don't have to get to age 40 and deal with all this when you've got all your family on the line, when you've got all your career on the line. And this is why people get washed up and just wrecked in the middle of their life, because they never spend the time to sit in isolation and in solitude and ask themselves difficult questions like, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Where am I coming up short? How can I be better? And then actually grabbing their nuts and having some accountability to make the changes. And the reason why they don't do that is because they don't value their time they have right now. Or two, if they do realize that their time is running out, they don't have the belief in themselves to take action. Why? Because they're living a life so unfulfilled of purpose and vision and passion. They're working these 9-to-5 jobs that suck their soul. And then when they get out of these jobs, they're sleeping into the last minute of the morning before they wake up and they go to these jobs, right? And then they get home from work and they flick on the TV or they put on the Xbox or they go and just like drown themselves out with food or mindless scrolling on social media or porn or whatever the fuck. And they just like wander through life like a zombie who just like hates themselves. And then they eat all this food and just like destroy their body. They drink all this alcohol, just destroy themselves to try and find this quick high, some temporary fix to mask that pain of inadequacy that they feel. But then when they wake up the next day, they look in the mirror and they're like, damn, what have I created? Who have I become? I know I'm not on the right path. But this physical physique that I see is a direct representation of that person that I've built within through my daily habits. So like I'm fat, I'm out of shape. I hate the way I look. I look down to go take a leak. I can't even see what I'm talking about. Or I'm just like fluffy and just like lethargic and puffing upstairs and just like exhausted all the time, got no energy and just like feeling like crap. How do you have belief in yourself when you're like that? You don't. So you keep doing all those things that are robbing you of that internal value, all those vices, all that self-pity, because you're too afraid to take action. I got to step in the way of that, guys, for your own betterment. And you're not going to become a man until you're responsible for yourself. If you've got kids and a wife already and you're out of shape, man, you gotta uppercut yourself. You gotta step up. You've got people counting on you to be your best version of yourself, and you're gonna let them down with that sloppy example. I'm not just talking about physically in shape, guys. I'm talking about mentally in shape. You need to be on a path of constant progression, a path that's rewarding, a path that has an impact, a path that has meaning to you. You're living this life of just living for the weekend or punching in and out of work and just like come home. You're not present for anything because you're just like masking all that, like I said, that pain of inadequacy with all the vices and stuff. Bro, you're lost. Just admit it. You've got to have like humility precedes honor. You've got to have that humility and be like, bro, all right, I get it. This is where I'm at. It's not who I am, it's just where I am, but I need to change this. I have to change this. I have to realize that if I don't get off this path that I'm on, I'm going to get slapped in the face with adversity to correct me onto my path, or I can learn from other people's mistakes, realize that I'm walking that same path that they're talking about, that they were on too, and they had to change because that adversity slapped them in the face. And if I don't want to experience all that pain of bringing down my loved ones with me, then I need to make the changes now, because I might not have 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, The people that are in a relationship with me, they might just be like, bro, I'm tired of your shit. You're not changing. You say one thing and do another. You never make the changes, never honor your word, never follow through on your commitments. You're the same person, if not worse than when I met you. Boom, relationship's done. For me, it cost me my family. For me, it cost me seeing my kid. Tough times, man. Tough times. I don't talk this just to be another motivational guru or some shit. I talk about this because I know that there's so many guys who are out there going through this age 30, age 40, where they're going through their life and they've just been this financial provider for such a long time that their family doesn't even know them, or they have like this substandard version of them, and they feel like they're doing all this work providing, yet they feel this disconnect in their relationship. They feel isolated, they feel alone, so they turn to porn, they turn to drugs, they turn to all this to mask that pain, and yet they drift further away from their partner, and then boom, explodes in their face, and like, what the fuck? Like, I just like invested all this, what I thought was love, and all I thought was sacrificing myself for these people who didn't even want me, who didn't even respect all that work that I put in. This is the mindset you guys have. But you're forgetting that the sacrifice you need to make is where you trade that comfort and complacency of sleeping in, watching TV, doing all that shit doesn't add value to your life, for the things that are going to progress you and build a worth in yourself, like going to the gym, tracking your macros, nailing a program, getting in shape, starting that side hustle, reading books, praying, reading the Bible, all these things that are going to add that internal value and make yourself respect yourself enough that you keep adding all the value into other areas of your life too. Not being fat just physically, guys, being fat mentally. Go through that fat loss transformation phase and cut all that shit out. Respect yourself, value yourself enough to bring the best version of yourself to the world, to even just for yourself. Man, you guys are worth so much more than devices, and until you see yourself the way that God sees you, unique, special, powerful, here for a purpose, on purpose, you're never going to have the value to overcome those vices. Guys don't realize how finite your time is. And it's not just about like changing for the sake of other people. Maybe you don't have that family yet. Maybe you don't have those loved ones around you. Maybe it has to take something like that for you to initiate change, that heartbreak, that loss. But does it have to? You already feel like shit. You already feel like your life's not going anywhere. Instead of looking for love in all these places where it's a cheap fix, where it never lives you this lasting effect, where it's temporary satisfaction, like food, like porn, like drugs, like whatever, mindless, meaningless things. Why don't you look for the real substance? Because you're afraid that you can't put the work in order to do it, because you haven't followed through on your word before to yourself. It kills me, bro. Guys go through this their entire life, wondering, like, just that this is it, this is life. It's not, bro. It's not living. That's death. It's called mediocrity. It's called being the same as everyone else with no belief, no drive, no hunger, no passion, no lust for life. You change that by investing in yourself, asking those deep questions. Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? Like, how can I do it? And then you stop pointing fingers at everything else and start realizing three are pointing back at you, and you take the accountability for your life, and you start mastering all those weaknesses and deficiencies you have, because you actually get a journal and write this out like someone who wants to achieve their goals. You find out where you're coming up short. You make the adjustments. You humble yourself. You get mentorship. You get coaching. You get advice from people who have walked the path that you're on. And then day by day, you add the value back into yourself by doing these things that provide the value in yourself. Guys, don't get to age 40, to age 50. When you have kids, don't put them through this pain. Don't put your wife through this pain. Don't put yourself through this pain, because you might not make it. If I didn't have my system, my daily steps of pushing myself past failure in the gym, I would never have had the belief to overcome the shit that life has dealt me in terms of this pain of when your child is going between two homes and she's crying for you, but she's crying for her mother, and she's torn right down the middle, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is my fault. You know, it's mum's fault too, but like, that burden's on you as the dad. And you're broken inside, and your kid's broken, and you know that your ex is hurting too. It's just like all that pain. How do you deal with that, man? If you don't have the right thing up here and in here and up here with God, you're not going to get through it. It's too painful. I get on here and be assertive and aggressive and vulnerable with you guys because I know that so many guys are struggling with this now and dealing with this now and don't see a way out. But the way out, guys, is by yes, realizing that you're in a shitty situation, but you need to do something about it. And the thing that you do about it is not destroying yourself, it's valuing yourself. If you keep going down this self-pity cycle and just destroying yourself with the vices, guys, what do you think is going to happen? You know what's going to happen. Worse things, more depression, more anxiety. The deeper you get into that hole, like the only cure for the darkness is the light, guys. You can get through this. Have some value in yourself. You can pick yourself back up and just take one step forwards. Just do one less bad habit. Just choose one time. You have that internal voice within you saying to you that you're better than this. Listen to that. That's the voice of God telling you, mate, I'm calling you up to your purpose. I'm calling you up to more. And I had to give you this adversity so you would put aside your ego and realize that you're shit, you suck where you're at. And you gotta change. So now, because you didn't listen, I had to slap you in the face to show you you're worth more. To show that you're capable. Rock bottom, solid grounds to build your base upon, because we had to destroy all the shit that you built through years and years of repetition of crap and bullshit and excuses and self-limitation, belief systems that didn't work. Had to destroy all of that so now we can build up on the rock foundation of God. And you build your character upon that. Then you build your habits upon that. You build your new identity, new beliefs, new values. And you create the life you always knew you could have. Had to destroy in order to build. Repetition, guys, is everything. Where are you putting your reps in? Are you putting your reps into things that are destroying you or creating you? Every single day you have the choice, progression or regression. You pick one. Every single choice is that. It's only two paths. Yes, you make the best informed decision with what you know and the skills you have at the time. But if you've been watching these videos for such a long time and you're still in the same spot, whether it's my video or someone else's videos or any type of personal development, you're still stuck in the rut. You're doing the wrong thing. You need to make a change. Go and just get help, man. If you're going through a rough time, realize that hard times create hard people. And if you want to persevere those times, go and put yourself through more challenge. I know it sounds like, bro, I'm already going through some shit. Or put yourself through it on your own terms so you have the mental capacity, the mental fortitude and belief in yourself and the discipline and the skill set to overcome those difficult things with. If you push yourself in the gym to failure and beyond and push yourself into training and your nutrition and look after yourself, not only do you build that internal attribute of discipline and belief, you build a value in yourself. You build a confidence in yourself that you can't be messed with and all these other things, or at least you're more capable to go to war with them. Then you win. You transform, not just physically and mentally and getting through it in the physical state of the gym and all that beautiful sculpted physique and strength, but in your life, man. That's how you go and start knocking down all these other fears that you have and stop taking excuses from yourself. And that's how I did. That's how I have my daughter back in my life now. That's how I have her half the time that I have 50-50, you know? Because I went and stopped making excuses and started grab my nuts, having accountability. I started doing the work. I was like, what's all the communication things I can learn? How do I improve relationships with the co-parent? How can I be the best father I can be? Where am I coming up short? I took accountability and responsibility because today fucking matters. And if I didn't change, I would not see my daughter. Don't you guys get this? If you don't change, you'll lose everyone and everyone you care, everyone and everything that you care about, everything that really has that true internal value that you know in your heart of hearts, what you truly want. But you're selling it the fuck out for these cheap fixes like porn, meaningless sex, just dumb shit, guys. That's never providing you with the true substance. Well, I'm telling you, if you tolerate that of yourself now, later in life, this reputation with yourself you're building and that repetition yourself you're building with those shitty habits are going to end up where you lose the things of true substance. I don't want that for you, man. Get a daily system of pushing yourself, of challenging yourself for a positive goal, a positive purpose that at least puts you in some direction of progression. The gym is the means to do that, guys. Get a program. Understand your maintenance calories. If you want to lose some fat, eat below, get into a deficit. I'm not going to get into this shit now, guys. It's all over the internet. But the reason why you can't hit your goals is because you never push yourself hard enough. And the reason why you don't believe in yourself is because you never challenge yourself. But it's so simple to achieve those goals of looking after yourself, But what keeps holding you back and robbing you of all that belief is all those vices and excuses you're tolerating of yourself because you're not valuing your time. You're not valuing today. And then that's why you're doing that dumb shit in the first place. It's all like those meaningless jobs and stuff, and you feel stuck. Bro, it's not living, man. The only thing that's going to be unstuck is if you want to change the output, guys, you got to change the input. What are you inputting into this equation? It's got to change the output. You do the same shit. Don't expect a different result. You got to realize you got to make these sacrifices, bro. Like, sacrifice that comfort for the life that you could have. A life where you do have beautiful relationships, that the one that you want, that know that deep down under all those lies that society has told you is full of shit, by the way. But the ones that you've stacked from years of everyone else's opinions, of people who haven't done shit with their lives, try and tell you can't do shit with yours because they don't have any fucking belief. And then all the people around you won't get in your face and be this aggressive and this assertive and tell you this exactly how it is that you need to change this, because then they're a hypocrite because they won't go and put in the work themselves. They're all a bunch of yes men, but then behind closed doors in their home, guys, stuff isn't good. But in my place and in my life, we got this shit on lock because we take accountability for this and we're honest. And when you have honesty, then you have humility, and then you can change from there. And then you see your problems not as things that are setbacks, but as something that is an opportunity for growth. Then you develop this trait called gratitude. Then you start thanking God for providing you with these opportunities to develop yourself and strength. And that's how you get out of depression. That's how you get out of anxiety. Is you start seeing these things as tools of self-reflection and as opportunities for your growth. And so you start welcoming them coming in. And you're building yourself better in the gym and strong enough and capable of this and strong in your faith and relying on God. He says, cast your burdens on me because I care for you. And you work in that unison and the partnership there. And you crush and slaughter all these other things, man. It doesn't stand in your way anymore. You're no longer in your way. Don't you want that for your life, bro? Then you got to take that accountability, take that ownership, realize that adversity will build you if you allow it to. But if you keep acting like a victim, that you're the only one who's ever gone through this, that you can't humble yourself and get rid of your ego for a minute to go and get some help, then ain't shit ever going to change, bro. It's never going to change until you lose everything you care about. But by then it's too late. You're putting a bullet through your skull, or you're drowning yourself out with booze every single weekend or whatever. Your habits are a reflection of how you value yourself. And your future is an accumulation of those habits. And if you want a different outcome, then change the habits that you put in today. That's what I got to say for now, guys. I love you all so much. I really do. I really do. I want the best for you, man. Just love yourself enough to change and initiate that. Take action now. You don't know how much time you have left, bro. You don't know how many chances you have. It's finite time, finite opportunity, and you don't understand the ripple effect that you're having, not just in your own life and for years to come, but for generations and for people around you. Like when it's your time to go out, man, do you want to have that legacy where like you did not have all those dreams come to life, where you did not have that fulfilling life, where when your kids are just like, oh yeah, he was my dad, but he was never home, he was never present, he was just always at work, and I don't really know that much about him. I don't know any of his stories because just wasn't here. He was just working. When he was home, he was just eating, or he was drinking, or he was watching TV, and because he was just a bitch, afraid his whole life to do the work. I don't think so, man. I don't think any of you guys want that, but that's how you guys feel. If we're having the real talk now. Yeah, having the real talk. This is how you guys need to talk to yourself, is that like it's just so super ungrateful to go through your life like this and to not develop the accountability and responsibility in yourself. It's why you guys feel so crap, man. Just, bro, you can get through all of these things, these issues that you have, valid, painful, the excuses you have, yes, they suck. Whatever childhood trauma that led you to doing these things, or whatever life experiences or curveballs that came your way that you weren't expected, and weren't prepared for, and didn't get taught how to deal with, they happened, mate. They happened. They're in the past now. But what you have in this age of information is no excuse not to go out there and to research solutions to your problems. And I know I'm always drawing this back to the gym and stuff, but guys, but when you like track your food, you develop the attention to detail and accountability in the small steps like 6-7 times a day. And it's a trained attribute called discipline and awareness, which you can then take into the other areas of your life subconsciously, but or consciously if you want to. And you start paying attention to all the other things you're coming up short in. And as you notice a progression in your life and your health and your physique and see the benefits and all that stuff, you can't help but pick up and reject second place in all those other areas too. So it really comes back to all that external success built upon the internal success that you build through valuing and investing and in loving yourself. Never coming from the vices, never coming from a third party, coming from your belief in you, man. And when you're just listening to all these other third parties all the time telling you who you can be, can't be, telling you all their limiting excuses, telling them all their limiting belief systems, what do you think is going to happen, man? You're going to become just like them. But if you start listening to that internal voice, the one that's like, bro, actually, we need to change this, so I will. And, excuse me, we need to change this, so I will. And no matter what it takes, I'm going to commit to this transformation. I'm going to commit to becoming a better version of myself. I'm going to commit, and if I fail, so what? I'll get up and I'll try again. I'm not afraid to face that failure anymore and that fear anymore because I pushed myself so hard into training and I've pushed myself past failure once. What's the big deal? I'll just do it again and try again and get back up and learn the lessons. And you become a champion of your life, guys, not a spectator, not a person whose legacy is just non-existent. You have an impact, man, where you did live that life of purpose, of passion, of fulfillment, where you had a beautiful family, where you had that just love for life, man. It's within your reach, it's within your grasp. The first grasp you got to do is look down and realize if you've got a set of nuts, man, grab them and back that shit up. If not, don't even try this. You need to have that belief and value in yourself. Develop a little bit of courage. Yeah, it might be fearful that you might have tried this kind of stuff. You might have tried walking the path of betterment before, but you didn't know the right things, so you failed. And it's scary, man. It's scary to try something that you failed before. But do you know how great it feels to succeed in an endeavor that you failed before, and then you get up and you try again, you get up and try again, you fail and you get up. Failure equals success, guys. You got to push yourself through that. It's a part of learning and part of knowledge. It's how you earn the character that has the right to have all those goals that are so valuable on the other side. If it was just given to you like winning the lottery, like it didn't mean shit, you blow that stuff straight away. So that's why the hard things to take, man, are rare. They're valuable. Like being a man of integrity and honor and character. How many of us are left? Like being wealthy, not just financial, but having wealth in your life, like relationships that are meaningful and impactful, and being able to help inspire and lift up your brothers. Being able to be there for a friend and having the right advice for them because you've gone through all that shit and you took your pain and you converted it into purpose. And you sacrifice and you invest in yourself and now you're able to help them get through a tough time. That's the legacy I'm talking about, man. That's the true value in life. The strongest, they lift others. It takes strength to admit your deficiencies. It takes strength to be vulnerable. It takes no strength to sit back and critique other people on the path. It takes no strength to realize your deficiencies and then mask them away. That's weakness, man. If you want to be strong, you got to realize that there's changes that have to be made. Then go and walk through it. Even if it's hard, you have to go through it. And when you do that, you become the person you want to be. That strength is built through overcoming. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap this shit up. Thanks for watching. Get after it.